we have used a cowbell, the Salt Lake Olympics 2002 cowbell, which I still have here. And we may end up doing it, but not in this meeting. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I am the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. I'm here at the Port of LA, right behind me, with some drinkers and mostly soft drinks here in the morning on the West Coast, 8 a.m. And wherever you are, thank you for joining at whatever time that you're joining us. We have 7 speakers. This is the League of Opportunities at Global Chamber. This is something that actually got spun off of our League of Extraordinaries. And Tamer, thank you for asking the difference between League of Extraordinaries and League of Opportunities. League of Extraordinaries is one of our most fun and exciting conversations because it's used to have 15 or 20. Now, typically we get around 30 to 40 sometimes, and it gets a little exciting. We have to figure out a better way to do it. And if you have any suggestions, please send them in because we're thinking about those things right now. But this one came out of that. Our Christian Aguirre, our Global Chamber Hermosillo Executive Director, suggested that we have the opportunity to have members talk about some opportunities that they see. Often it's products or services that they have, but it could be other opportunities as well. And so let's start, and I guess I should have looked and see to make sure everybody was here. I was going to start with Amanda, and fortunately, Amanda's here from Fresh Food Factory. How are you, Amanda?
I am well, and you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm looking forward to learning more. I know I've had some understanding of what you're doing, and it looks amazing. So why don't you, if you don't mind, kick us off? We've got 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes for a presentation, and about 7 minutes overall for maybe one question after that, or if you want to, however you want to structure that. Thank you for sharing today.
Awesome. So I'm in the great Washington, D.C., and we're doing a lot of work here to really change the environment to make it more healthy and make it inclusive, and just to make sure that we are changing the trajectory of residents here in the District of Columbia, especially those who've been minoritized, separated from opportunity, making sure that we're going in different communities and offering access to different opportunity. And we do that by, addressing health disparities. I've worked with Johns Hopkins, Sibley Memorial, United Healthcare, and the like. And we are making sure that we're integrating food, health, and housing. Where there's a housing concern, there's sure to be a food issue or disparity going on. So we're really focusing in on how might we really impact community, create more revenues for folk in the community, offer them access and opportunities as it relates to foods. So in all that I'm doing, I'm starting a chain of health food stores. I've started a chain of health food stores. I'm gonna go ahead and say it that way. And we are just increasing our bandwidth. We're expanding beyond the District of Columbia and into Maryland. And we're really focusing on the sale of healthy, local, and ethnic foods, both prepared and packaged. And we provide space where people could actually come learn how to prepare those foods, also explore entrepreneurship, and use our kitchen and market space to be able to prepare, package, and sell products. So we just see that as a system or cycle to increase the wealth of the community as well. And we do demonstrations, expos, so people could actually learn how to prepare certain foods, know where the food is actually sourced from. And again, we sell a lot of ethnic foods. So sourcing food from Africa, from South Asia, from the Caribbean, Central and South America has really created a shift. A lot of people haven't traveled, so they could actually travel through this food. And a lot of people find a lot of commonality. You may have some food in Colombia, and my husband, he's from Nicaragua, and you have a food in Ghana, and we're all eating the same things, but we may call it something different. So we find that's a great way to actually connect people and forge different opportunity and really teach people, hey, there's more to food than standing behind a counter just serving and selling food. You have different trade aspects. You have a lot of different workforce opportunities. There's a global world out there, and is so you got to experience life beyond your community. So we are providing some expos. I am an AGO advisor, and of course, being connected with the chamber, we just wanted to figure out ways, how do we combine everything that it is that we do, and create more opportunity, and highlight more businesses who are doing great work. So we have 3 expos that are coming up starting in July. The first one is a How to Trade Expo, trading in Africa with Africa. Again, the diaspora, Central South America, Caribbean, South Asia, and highlighting different businesses that have product and services and expertise in this space. So it could be some of you or some of the people that you know who may have food products or other products that will benefit global communities. I think that would be great. So any of you could be a part of that. I'm spearheading this effort. It was my brainchild. We have great strategic partners that we're working with to be able to do that. In August, we're going to do another expo on public health and safety. Again, safety is a part of health. So, working on and proposing different solutions, ideations have been something that I've been working on to address safety concerns as public health. And in November, we're going to be doing a food expo to kind of like modify people's diets, especially around the holidays and that time of caring and sharing. Just making sure that ethnic foods are included on those menus. So that's it in a nutshell. And we're excited about being a part of the Global Chamber. And again, it's about building community, global community. So I'm just looking forward to connecting to each and every one of you.
Thank you very much. You timed it very well, so we have 2 minutes. And what I would encourage everybody here, if you have a question, raise your hand. That would be the ideal way, because then I'll see it and be able to call on you. And otherwise, I might ask you to just unmute yourself. I do have a question though for you, and maybe for all the speakers, for the remaining speakers. One of the things, besides explaining what you're doing, is understanding how we can help. And so that's going to be my question to you. What help do you need? What connections do you need? What support do you need to get to the next level?
Thank you for that question. There are different helps that I needed, but as it relates to the expos, I definitely say we are looking to bring in different presenters, different people that we will have, like Global Chamber Nairobi, different artistic expressions that will be highlighted. And a lot of those people and experiences have a cost attached. So whether it be in kind or financial, that's a great part of it. And I also believe in always highlighting other businesses who are doing great work. I believe in highlighting those opportunities, and really creating a platform. So if anybody wants to participate as a vendor or just come see the great work that we're doing, I love to just have a conversation about how you could be involved, how you could attend. And I think that's a great way to actually start a relationship with that expos. We're growing in different locations. If you have fruit products, if you have hygiene or products that you'll buy in a typical grocer, that's what we're looking for. So if you have product for us to sell and contribute to our shelves, that will be great as well. Or if you know of
Fantastic.
sorry.
We do need to move on. Jim, if you wouldn't mind putting your question in the chat area, and also Lulu as well, that would be great. And so I'd like to encourage several things from everyone. Number one is look at your name on the list and make sure that it's the right name. And feel free to put your company as well, just get some additional visibility. Use the chat area to both introduce yourself and ask questions. That would be very helpful, because we've run out of time here to move on. So circle back if there are some introductions similarly that you'd like to have made. reach out during this meeting or after the meeting. You can always send an email to info@globalchamber.org and we'll help. There will be a LinkedIn post, probably two of them for the two meetings that we've run over the last couple days. This one will have its own LinkedIn post when it comes out. See all the names on there and make sure that you're connected to the folks that are there. Most of the people here are members of Global Chamber. I mentioned about the questions and then reaching out. Please feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you again for all the work that you're doing, which makes a difference in people's lives, Amanda. Really appreciate it. Yeah, let's now go to Caitlin Kelly with Easy Newswire. Caitlin, I'm not really sure where you are. Are you in New York?
Hi, Jack. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm usually in New York. Today,
Okay.
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, in my brother's spare bedroom at his house, spending a belated Mother's Day weekend with my family. So I came down to Atlanta to spend the weekend with my mother because I couldn't be here last weekend. So having a little Mother's Day celebration here in sunny Atlanta. Well, not so sunny
And
today, actually.
fantastic. Well, I've just been really impressed since you guys have joined, relatively new members of Global Chamber. I love the concept of being able to help companies be more successful and do it very cost efficiently. What would you like to share today?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear more.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for your time and attention. I'm delighted to be here. I'm the founder of Easy Newswire. Easy Newswire is a platform that really makes it super easy and affordable, like Doug was mentioning, to take your everyday momentum and wins and basically transform that into a marketable asset that you can share with your communities to get more attention and visibility for all the incredible work that you're doing. So I thought it would be fun to just ask everybody a quick question, because I think that one of the things I've learned about news or business news is that everybody thinks that that's not me. I don't have anything good to say, good to tell anybody. But my thesis is that everybody actually has some great wins that they can share with their communities, but maybe don't know how to do it, right? Does anybody have like a new deal, a new customer, you did a new partnership, you became a member of the Global Chamber, right? Anything like that? Anybody? Yes, raise of hands. Okay, I'm seeing some nodding heads. And then does anybody know how to announce it effectively? Like how to tell people about that content? Well, that's what Easy Newswire does. So in essence, we are a platform that uses AI to help you understand what that win is. That could be a partnership, just for the ease of the example. And then we have a network of publishers. So these are traditional news publishers, like local newspapers across the country, including the Hearst newspaper network and television network. New publishers like Substack creators, YouTube videos. All those types of publishers and creators are on our platform so that you as business owners can use AI to generate copy, so a text-based asset or a video-based asset about your news, and then publish that to a third party very easily. So that could be the newspaper as sponsored content. And what you get on the other side of that is a link on, sanfranciscochronicle.com or expressnews.com that has your headline and the news that you want to announce really clearly and boldly listed as a press release that you can then share with your communities. And if you bear with me for a second, I'm just going to quickly show you how it works to give you a little bit more context on this. This is a quick Loom video, and everyone can see this. Doug, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see it?
Yep.
Great. Okay, that should be big. Did everybody see it? Okay, cool. Tell us a little bit about you and your company. All that information informs the models that we're using on the back end to create this content. We're going to help you create a boilerplate, which is a very, very simple and streamlined about us statement, not just for the press release. This is an incredible marketing asset that a lot of companies that we work with don't have, right? So a quick and clean paragraph about who you are and what you do, basically the 5 W's of your business. And then we ask you about the news that you want to announce. and everything is very clearly listed. We don't need a ton of information. We need a couple of quick bullets on what it is that you want to share with the world. And with the click of a button, your news is created. This is your press release. You can see the headline here. You can make edits to this, add in trackable links, so like bit.ly links. You can see how people are engaging with your content. Images to really jazz it up and make it look like a proper marketing asset. And then you choose where you want this news published. So this can be published to the Associated Press, which is basically the largest news organization in the country. These are a couple of Substacks. The Post and Courier is the largest newspaper in South Carolina. And just like that, like you're buying diapers, which I did yesterday, or soda, or maybe your favorite, food, right? Like anything online like that, you can click to pay and find your news live on these publications just like that. This is the news live on the AP, the Post and Courier, and on Big Technology. So this text-based asset is just it's step one for us, guys. And I want to sort of click back to let me stop sharing. Click back to the sort of ask that Doug and his team had around, who do we actually help, right? And it's any business, any growing business that has deals or news that they want to announce, but don't have the necessary budget or the expertise to do this in a traditional way. This is a really quick and easy solution for you. My ask for this community, I would love for you to reach out to me, and I can put my email, the website, and a discount code in the Zoom chat now. And if you reach out to me, I'm happy to help you with your first announcement if you've never written one before. I have spent 15 years in corporate communications, and I would be happy to share this with anybody on this group. I'm going to send this in a minute because it doesn't. Oh, here it is. And the other ask that I have is, what are the publications that you want to be in? Right? If there's any publication, you saw a technology Substack or a newspaper, a local newspaper, if there are any particular publications that you would love to be in, let me know, because we're very actively doing deals and brokering deals with new publications. And we want to make sure that we're servicing all of our customers in the way they want. So that's all I've got for today. I think that was a little under 5 minutes, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
That's a lot. I don't see any hands raised. Did anybody have a question?
Can I ask a quick question, Doug?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful, Caitlin. I really enjoyed looking at that, seeing that. The list of publications, is it those 4 that we've seen on the screen, or is there a comprehensive list of?
It's broader than that, and I would be happy to share that as a follow-up if you want to send me a note or pop me your email in the Zoom chat. Those publications were specifically selected for this use case, which is a Charleston-based company. But in terms of that publisher network, we closed, and we are about to be live with Hearst Newspapers. So that's about, I think it's 15 publications across the country, everywhere from Houston and San Antonio to San Francisco and Connecticut and everywhere in between. As well, we are soon to announce a very exciting deal with a household name news publication similar to an AP, and that deal would be exclusive in nature, meaning you cannot find a deal like this anywhere else. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, I work a lot with thought leaders and influencers and people looking to kind of elevate that, as featured in, and the usual suspects come up with that, don't they? Like Business Insider, Forbes, all of those, and the Washington Post, all of the ones that you would imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, this looks quite interesting. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Colin is an AI expert, and he's based out of the Beatles' hometown, so he's amazing.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, nice to meet you, Colin. Yeah, I mean, we're US based today, right? Meaning all of our publisher network is based in the US. That might change soon. I'm actually in London a month from today, to go talk to News and The Guardian and a couple of other English publications, and hopefully Europe will be right behind that. So we're very excited about the opportunity with global companies that are both looking to expand into the US and establish their name here, but also ones that want to be, in the rest of the world.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Thank you for sharing.
Christina, could you ask your question in the chat area if you have a quickie?
Yes, I can. I'll ask it in chat, and I'll even reach out to you, Caitlin, and get the information then.
Cool. Nice to meet you, Christina.
Christina is with the world-renowned University of Utah, and she also is a cross-cultural expert and has her own business there. And so that's actually probably a nice bridge to our next speaker, because you mentioned London and culture. And when I think of London and culture, I think of Lulu, because he is an extraordinary supporter of global business. And he's going to be sharing information about the London Intercultural Center. And I know, Lulu, there's an event. Did it already happen in the UAE with the group? And so I presume if it hasn't happened, hopefully we'll hear more about that. What would you like to share? What's new?
Yes, hi Doug, and hello everybody. And I'm actually sharing quickly like 3 pieces of information. The first is, as Doug said, that there is a global conference called AIMS 24, organized by London Intercultural Center. So I'm speaking on behalf of the board of London Intercultural Center. So this year's event, the theme is about AI and technology. So I'm flying out tonight to Dubai, and the conference will be held on Sunday. So among many other speakers, I will be speaking about how cultural bias affect AI. So if you're still interested, do come join us on Sunday in Dubai. The other piece of information is about, as we are the partner of Global Chamber, so we are saying to everybody, every members of the Global Chamber, we have a academy. So on the academy, there are 2 things we are offering. I will put it in the chat. You can all have a look. So in the academy, we have the over 400 online courses people can take, and it's all certified by UK bodies. And we, as a member of Global Chamber, all of you can enjoy a 15% discount to all the courses. So this is the discount code, and not only you, but your friend, your employee, your team can all use this code. And yeah, we would like to enjoy. The purpose of this academy is to really encourage ongoing personal development. In the meantime, we are inviting all the industry experts. If you see in the category of the courses there's a gap, and that from your area of expertise, you would like to create a course similar length, and do get in touch with me, and then we would love to talk with you, because again, the purpose is to really use your expertise for more people to benefit. The last piece of information is about a business opportunity I have shared when I was doing a session with Doug the other night. It's in my home city called Kunming in the southwest of China. There is a company, it's an investment company, and run by my high school classmate. So he's the chairman of the board. So it's within this company, they have 14 subsidiary companies. So ranging from coffee to sell batteries for electric cars, to agricultural products, and then to financial products. So it's quite a range of opportunities you can look into. Please have a look at this website. And if you are interested, either you or we're looking at to form a group to go to have a look, I think and he's on standby to facilitate such a visit. So this is all I need to say. And yeah, open for questions, please.
Amazing. That's all?
Yeah. I want to talk to people, want to hear from people.
That's a lot. That's a lot going on. Have a safe trip to Dubai this weekend. Any questions for Lulu? Is Christina, is that your hand almost waving there?
It's me, but I was moving my cursor around trying to get the hand raise thing, and I just thought, what the heck, I'm going to raise my hand, my regular hand. Not hand. Okay, so you were talking about the different courses that you offer through your organization. What are the platforms that you use with these courses?
What do you mean platform? Like online platform?
All online, interactive, live, recorded.
Oh, I see. So we have different types of courses. So we have scenario-based. Actually, the course material is written by the trainer, but played out by actors and actresses. That's one type. Another is actually you have the course material, but then they put it together through AI support. So it's generated like a lecture, but done by AI. We also have real people lecture, like you can record it through the Zoom or whatever medium you're using. So it's like recorded lecture with assessment questions and handouts and so forth. We also have the like in-person delivery courses. So there's 4 types of courses. People depends on the subjects. Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Really a very comprehensive approach. So thank you for sharing. Please put your information in the chat and all the links as much as you can. And if you have any questions about that, please let us know. Sunny Vu, I see you in there, HSP. Are you available just to say hi? And if you haven't met Tamer yet, hopefully, probably you two are already connected. But being in Florida, that it's a great connection. Sunny, are you there? And if not, that's cool as well. I'll make sure that everybody has the name of the company next to his name if he's stepped away for a moment, and we'll go from there. Let's now go and stay in the UK with Benjamin Dudgeon of Hone Your English. So in a similar way, as I think all of us know, when you're doing business internationally, you've got to understand culture, you've got to be sensitive to it, you have to recognize you're going to make mistakes, you have to be sincere and transparent enough to be able to recognize all of that and work through all of those. And God knows I've made a lot of mistakes. One of the real challenges I think we all face is language, and just be able to understand. And Hone Your English takes it to the next level, at least on the English side. So Benjamin, thank you for sharing. What's new? What should we know? What's going on?
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate the introduction. So yeah, I've been working in this space for a number of years, and business English coaching is nothing new. I've worked for other providers. A lot of companies provide English training for their employees. But the difference here is it can be seen as kind of like an employee perk, and the employer doesn't actually expect any kind of results from the employees doing the English training. It's just something they kind of feel they should provide. Whereas what we're doing at Hone Your English is actually designing courses where we are getting good levels of progress, equipping the employees with the language and the skills they need to do all aspects of their job in English. So in terms of the opportunities here, there's a few different areas, and we don't just work directly with businesses. So if you're a business owner and you've got non-native speakers of English and you want to be able to promote them internally, give them more opportunities, you want to be checking their work less and be able to send them off to trade fairs, etc., then get in touch and I can explain how we can quickly accelerate their English competence in 12 weeks. In terms of professionals, we do B2C courses, and we're able to help non-native speakers of English to give better presentations, to contribute more in meetings, to write better in English, to pass tests such as IELTS, so that they can go and do master's programs. And the other area that we're starting to work in is with teenagers. So my background is working in some of the top schools in the UK, and all of my team are very experienced British teachers of English. What we're doing is working one-to-one with teenagers, making sure that they can give great presentations in English, that they're just to work on their like self-confidence, because many teenagers are comfortable talking in their friendship groups, but as soon as they have to start in some like school debate or sharing their ideas in a less secure comfort zone, they struggle. So if you're aware of friends who have kids who maybe just want a little bit of help with their public speaking, then do reach out, because that's a new program that we're developing. Yeah, just wanted to kind of say hello, because I've been a part of this group for a while, but haven't really kind of told people exactly what we do.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. If you want any more information, if you want any of our brochures, just reach out and I'll send it all across.
Is your target only UK companies, and English is more defined as people who speak the language of English? So what regions of the world, and who's your target?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, I've been working quite closely with Karina, 90% of Karina Goetz, who runs the sort of Middle Eastern hub. 90% of our clients over the last 3 years have been in Saudi, quite a few in Dubai, but we've also had clients in Europe and in South America.
Okay.
And I've just been asked to put in a proposal for an Indian tech company in Sydney that I think I was mentioning about last time. So it is worldwide, with an emphasis on the Middle East. And in terms of the types of people that we work with, individuals are often like sales professionals, and the types of companies we typically work with tend to be manufacturing companies, because they have like a local workforce that maybe have not gone and studied in the US or Canada and Britain, and suddenly they have like managerial responsibilities and they need that level of English to be able to do their jobs effectively.
Beautiful. I could have used you a few years ago to remove the New York in my English. So thank you very much. I had to
You're
do
welcome.
that on my own. It was very painful. Any questions?
You've got a great voice, Doug.
Thank you very much. You're very kind. I see a question from Liverpool. Colin.
Hey, fellow Brit.
Hi,
Thanks,
Colin.
Benjamin. It was great to hear that. A quick question. I have a client, and say no if it's not appropriate. He has a team of 8 offshore in, I think it's the Philippines, but I'd have to check. It's the question he asked me in our coaching session was, how do I improve the English across my team? So would that be a good prospective client for you? Yes, no, maybe?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, if they're on a rig, then there's sometimes scheduling complications, and maybe they're on the rig for a month and off, and it often depends on what the culture is in the business. Are they encouraging the training within that business, or so we like to work with businesses where the business is saying to the employees, this is something we really want you guys to do. This is something we value. And the employees are being encouraged to turn up to classes and to really apply themselves to it. But for sure, certainly sounds an area that we could help with.
Thank you.
Thank
Are your
you very
LinkedIn
much.
details in the chat? Because I'd love to connect.
Yeah. I'll drop them in.
Thanks, Benjamin.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Great to learn more. Let's continue to move around the room. Please continue to feel free to put anything you need in the chat area, share your information, ask questions, and reach out along the way. I'd like to now go to Hyderabad, India, in Riyadh. I think you're in Hyderabad. You might have to correct me if that's the case, with Cypher One, and you're a new member, and somehow you came in through some other chapter. but nonetheless, we welcome to the Global Chamber and look forward to hearing more about what your opportunity is and how we can help.
Thank you, Doug. It's been a while. I did this kind of conference in the last 8 or 10 months. What I'll do is I'll quickly take a minute to talk about me and then try to run a few slides. I've been with Amazon as a director. The other co-founder, has been the same. We quit Amazon and came back and started our own venture, the startup. The startup bug bit us 20 years back. Again, it started biting us in our corporate life. So that's what we are. I'll quickly run the slide. Let me see if I can share the screen. If you can see my screen.
Are you in Hyderabad right now?
Yes, I'm based out of Hyderabad. Okay, can you see my screen by any chance?
Not yet. Oh, it's starting.
How about now?
About Cipher 1, we see that.
Okay, so quickly run. Cipher 1 means 0 to 1. And the approach what you've taken in building Cipher 1 is to look at the industry problems and solve the industry problems through software, consulting, and leadership coaching. So this is all English you'll find on the website on Cipher 1. Our capabilities are, like I said, SaaS solutions, anything to do with B2B product development, and business coaching and executive leadership coaching. Our flagship product, through whiteboarding exercise, we identified HoReCa industry as the first industry to solve the problems. And we are building an integrated software solution, which we call Oasis, and we'll talk about it maybe in the slides later. I will introduce about ourselves. Both me and Tabish, we were directors at Amazon, and Tabish was also working with me. I was his boss for 5 years. He still chose to work with me as a startup co-founder. So between us, we share about 2 decades of Amazon experience and overall 35 plus years of Amazon experience. The good thing about this is our complementary skill sets, completely opposite, complement each other, has helped a giant like Amazon do well in our own capacity. Now, we are together in this world. As we speak, Tabish couldn't join this meeting because he's in Dubai for Seamless 24 event where our story got shortlisted. So our core competencies between both of us is I am on the business side, large scale people operations. My last role at Amazon was leading tech support operations and programs for about 8,000 people across the globe. And Tabish is more on the analytical side and tech side. So that's how our complementary skill sets work well. And the question is, why Cipher 1? And between us, the customer obsession of Amazon, where we look at a customer problem and start working backwards from the customer problem. So that's an added advantage for our leadership. We built the entire customer service operations at Amazon. So like I was the technical support customer service operations. So we built from roughly 300 people to 8,000 people, like I said. So which means we have the experience of understanding customer service, building it grounds up. What does the customer need? How do we build metrics around it? And through this course of it, we manage global teams, multi-location leadership, and that's how our thought leadership exists, and which we wanted to leverage through our leadership coaching. Okay. The last slide I want to use to talk about a case study which we did, and then I'll open up for any questions which we have. So what we did with this industry was, like I said, the first industry is HoReCa. And we believe that the solution will not be just one folded, which can't be just a software or a consulting. We thought end-to-end solution would be understanding the problem and solving it through every other means. So we have an situation in Hyderabad where we worked with a product chain leader and they were building a product chain and a 250-seater multi-cuisine fine dining restaurant. So when we identified the problem of OSS, which is going to be long run, so the product will be ready only next year and then MVP this year. But through the course of understanding the problems, we offered business consulting to them. And then we realized that there's a lot of disjointed processes. There's no focus on operational excellence. There's no focus on metrics. So through the course of 3 months, we built the entire processes and set up the dashboards, the entire CEO lens, which we created through business consulting, which saw their metrics moving in terms of sales and reduction of food cost. And luckily, the leader of this organization was transitioning from a product leadership to a CXO role. So there was a one-to-one CXO coaching, which I did personally to the leader. And through a focused and targeted intervention, we were able to help her scale as a product leader to a CEO leader. So that's our story. That's our journey. So I would like maybe stop here and then take any questions.
Okay, we're a little bit over. So does anybody have any question? Maybe unshare your screen and we'll see you. There we are. And then I can look and see in the gallery if there's anybody with their hand raised. I don't see anything. Does anybody have a question? What my question would be, where do you target clients then? Where are your best clients? What industries, what regions?
While the total acquirable market is worldwide, we are taking one step at a time. India is obviously the choice because of proof of concept, but we are focusing on Middle East because the country is going through a lot of cultural change and shift. So a lot of hotels, cafes are coming up, and they're slowly moving from a person dependent system to a software solution dependent system.
Okay. I love that approach, using the technology and the soft skills combined with that. So congratulations on the progress, and look forward to helping you to get to the next step. The Middle East is a great market, right? And I thought somebody mentioned Karina earlier, but I thought I saw her, but she might have stepped out. But I know a number of you are working in the Middle East. So thank you for your time, Riaz.
Thank you. I'm sorry for exceeding.
No worries at all. Let's now go to Paul Doherty, who was here. Paul, there you are.
I'm still here. Can you hear me? Yeah.
I do. And I love, in a similar way, what you're doing in terms of the solutions that you're providing. What's new? How can we help? What's the latest with SMC?
I've got a couple of slides as well, which will help folks to understand what it is I'm doing, and also I believe it's going to be shared after the call as well. So okay. I'll just see if I can share and my presentation. You can tell me if you can see this.
We can see it.
Right, and then the next thing, because sometimes there's a problem, if I advance the presentation, will you actually see the slide?
It advanced. Yeah.
Advance, and now it's back. Okay. Right.
Bravo.
Well, then I'll start. So thanks, Doug, and hello everyone. I'm Paul Doherty. I set up my company 5.5 years ago to solve a problem. That problem was the high failure rate of M&A integration. And so what does that problem look like? Well, you buy a company with great expectations and a lot of optimism, and then 1 year after contract signing, you find both companies are still at war. The revenue and the profit of the combined companies is reduced, so 1 + 1 is less than 2, and that certainly wasn't the plan. You've lost key customers and employees, and you wonder why you ever decided to close this deal. And the failure rate of M&A integration is shockingly high. You can go and Google failure rate of M&A or failure rate mergers and acquisitions integration, and you'll find similar figures. These particular figures are from a PricewaterhouseCoopers survey where they interviewed 150 American business owners 1 year after they'd bought a company and asked them, did this deal deliver what you expected? 85% said it failed to deliver the promised value. 50% said it actually destroyed value, so 1 + 1 was less than 2. 35% said it delivered minimum value. So only 15% said that the deal delivered what they expected. So if the failure rate's so high, why do it? Well, the answer is rapid growth, because organic growth is great, but if you want to get to the next level quickly, M&A is a great way to go if you do it properly. But here's what a lot of business owners don't realize, that integrating companies successfully is hard work, and the hard work starts when the deal is done. And although the deal might make sense to you as a business owner, but your customers and employees will need to be convinced of the wisdom of the deal. And whatever your particular M&A experience, most of the organization will need expert guidance. So here's a different way of looking at this. So most business owners are good at finding the right company to buy. They're good at coming up with a realistic valuation, negotiating a good deal, doing due diligence, and putting all the contractual pieces in order to close the deal. But they're so focused on the transaction that they forget about integration until the deal is done. Then they throw over the wall to, to line managers who haven't been involved in the whole deal up to this point, and say, get on it. You guys can make this happen. And that's where the damage starts right there. So integration is consistently forgotten about until it's too late, when the damage is already done. So what's the answer? Well, you have to push integration planning as far to the front of the M&A process as you can, and at least during due diligence. So if you do that, then you can focus on the 7 areas of M&A integration which cause those disappointing results. And if anybody on this call has been through, either they've acquired a company or been acquired by a company, and if you think about, if you're part of the 85% that are disappointed with the results, if you think about your own experience and you look at these 7 areas, you will find that one or more of those areas are the cause of that bad experience. So no clear executive vision. Why are we doing this deal? No sense of urgency. Terrible communication. Key value drivers not identified. You don't engage the whole organization. You don't focus on integrating core processes. You don't understand how to change culture. And so my approach, which I've productized as this company merger protocol, is to start off with a readiness report, looking at these 7 areas and saying, I work with the customer to say, which areas have you got well covered? What are your blind spots? What areas need more work? And then coming up with a plan during due diligence, so that plan then addressing these 7 areas is ready to go as soon as the deal is announced. And that's going to really increase your chances of being successful and being happy 1 year after with the results of the deal. So my request to the people on this call is, do you know this person, this persona, a business owner who has M&A as part of their growth strategy, maybe had a previous disappointing acquisition, but is determined to get it right next time and is willing to try a new approach? Then if so, I can help them to plan their integration ahead of completion and to increase their chances of being satisfied with the result of their deal. So that is my pitch and my request to the people on this call.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for unsharing as well. I don't see any hands raised. Any questions? We only have time for one quick one, if we do. Paul, where are you based?
I'm based just outside London.
Okay.
And the customers I work with over the last 6 years have been 80% European, 20% American. I'm working with an American company at the moment just now.
Okay, that helps a lot.
Hi, Doug. Is there room for a question?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Paul. So I work with a company that specializes in helping cross-border carve-out specifically. So I was just wondering, whenever you have, let's say, due diligence tasks with like employee transfer or the integration stuff, like, do you normally just do it by yourself in-house, or do you have partners that you refer to?
I actually don't do due diligence. There's plenty of companies that do that. My focus is on the integration. So what I say to business owners is, when you're doing due diligence, let's look at these 7 areas and plan for the integration, rather than waiting until the deal is done and then thinking, hey, how are we going to integrate these companies? So I'm not a due diligence expert, although I've had plenty of experience of the due diligence process. But my focus is on integrating the companies, because that's where the problems happen. Most companies are good at due diligence. All of the areas, finding the right company, getting the right valuation, doing due diligence, all the contractual part. Most companies are good at that, but they're not so good at the integration, because they leave it until it's too late. They don't plan for it, where they should be planning for it during due diligence too.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Words of wisdom. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing today. And let's now go to our final speaker. And I encourage all of you, while we're doing this, because we're going to wrap up by the top of the hour, to, if there's any additional information you'd like to share. And I encourage you to hang on till the end, because we'll have a couple of announcements at the end. Kuntal is always amazing. And she is one of our first members of Global Chamber. Her launching of Global Chamber San Diego is still ingrained in my mind. It was one of the most impressive launches visually that I've been part of, because she had arranged, I think it was Toronto, Tokyo, and Hermosillo, our executive directors in those cities, on the screen there in downtown San Diego. And I said, wow, this Global Chamber idea, this is amazing. We can talk to people anywhere in the world. That was, what, 8 years ago, something like that. And now with Zoom, we can kind of do it, but you don't know who's on the other end. And so what we try to do, obviously, is to put trusted people that are in this room here, so that you can sort through a lot of the issues. We actually had a scam happen today in the last few hours, or at least a potential scam. I don't think I've even told the team, but we had a team member in India was tried to buy the Amazon gift card scam. They've been trying to do that with me, like Doug Brunke, texting them and the whole thing. And she actually purchased the cards, but she did not hand them over to the person. So she was able to stop the scam. So be careful. The world is a scary place, and we're trying to make it a little bit less scary here at Global Chamber every day, because it is great opportunities. Kuntal, you always have some really interesting tidbits and some interesting facts and information to be able to help market our business. What's new with you? How can we help?
Thank you. Well, Doug, thank you very much for the opportunity, and so great to see all of you and have an opportunity to present to you. So just a little bit of context before I share sort of what our offering is. As Doug mentioned, I was involved with Global Chamber really from the beginning, starting in 2015 in San Diego. And since then, my life has taken me in some different directions. But, the common thread over the last 7, 8 years has been really being able to translate global marketing to global trade and investment, and businesses that are making connections across borders, and particularly looking to export. And so we've been doing that, really starting with Global Chamber, and then working with regional and statewide efforts in California, and now in Virginia. So I found myself in Richmond, somewhat unexpectedly, working with the Virginia Economic Development Partnership. But alongside that, I still, Global Chamber and KSW Consulting has been partnering over the last few years since we launched something called the Startup Suite. And that is basically an accelerated program for companies that know they want to target international markets. And we really focus on their branding, positioning, and engagement for global markets. We start with market research, We want to make sure that the approach is properly targeted. And then we translate all of the data that we put together and uncover into creative concepts and content. So this is, it's a foundation, a data-driven foundation, but we end up with something very creative at the end of the process. And we do this over the course of 3 months. We work with companies. And in that time, we're also happy to prep and train any internal staff to continue to execute the strategy that we develop with the company. So who do we want to connect with? So we have 2 offerings. One is our intro, which is really meant for startups, companies that are less than 1 year in operation, that are perhaps still in funding rounds and, targeting investors, and really being able to lay out their market potential. And how does that look from a branding perspective? So that's one group. The second group are all other companies that are over 1 year in operation, and they're either looking to enter new markets or they're looking to relaunch a product or service for a global market. And we really like to stay in the innovation space. So whether that's in biotech, renewable energy, clean tech, information technology, that's kind of been our sweet spot, but we're certainly open to working with retail businesses as well. And then, how can we work together? How do we like to work with Global Chamber members? Certainly we're available to work with you as a company if you're looking to expand into new markets. And we do that by providing, particularly for our pro offering, a 20% discount. But we're always open to referrals, because I do wear a different hat right now, or another hat, I should say. We're not really, blaring on social at the moment, but always open to direct referrals, open to having a conversation, open to having an initial consultation without any obligation to move forward, but I think this is a slightly different approach. And we see that it does work. And, we would love to, continue to work with companies across the spectrum as they look to enter and establish in new global markets. So really our specific offering is the 20% discount for Global Chamber members. And, we've kind of gone through the spectrum of starting out with companies that are just looking to enter, to companies that have already been in a couple of markets but are looking to expand that footprint and that presence, and now to actually accompanying companies in market and witnessing how deals get done. So, but we love to stay on the creative and the marketing and the content side of things.
Outstanding. Thank you for sharing. We're at the top of the hour. Let's let the last word be from Cesar Trabanco. Cesar, are you there? Did we forget anybody? Are we all good, or are there some announcements you'd like to make?
Thank you, Doug, and thanks everyone who presented today. We didn't forget anyone. I think we covered all in time, which is really, really good. I've been making some connections. I've been making some notes for everyone. And when it comes to announcement, I think we'll be working in some communities that will help us connect better with our members and for them to connect with themselves. And that's, we're looking forward to have that in the next couple of weeks. I connected as an example. We asked, I connected you to the India group. I noticed that we haven't done that, so we're going to be more proactively doing that. And that's it for me, Doug. I had a bunch of dogs behind me again. So thanks everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Reach out for any help. we'll leave the room open for another minute or so if you have anything that you'd like to share. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a great Friday. Anybody have anything they'd like to share while we're all leaving?